Bigfoot Collectors Club with Michael and Riley. I know a story of high strangeness or two. Let's do this.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Bigfoot Collectors Club, the show where we talk to amazing guests about their personal paranormal history and share stories of high strangeness. I'm your host, Michael McMillian, and with me always is the Guatemalan flautist of the Rio Grande Valley.
Yo soy Riley Bray.
Where's the flute today?
Where is the flute? I don't know.
Viewers at home, if you're watching this on YouTube, keep your eyes peeled for the flute somewhere in the background. If you can find it, we'll send you $100.
Better not be a flute.
Yeah, there better not be. Oh God, there better not be a flute in here. Sitting with us in the Clubhouse, we are live in studio this week. I shouldn't say. I mean, it's not live. You're
live for us.
Live for us, recorded for you. Is a dear friend, a brilliant actor, a wonderful comedic performer. You know him, you love him. Back for the first time in a year, but for your, I'm going to say 8th episode at this point. Probably?
I have no idea.
Club Scouts of all timelines, please welcome back the one, the only, Kevin Kirkpatrick. How are you, Kevy?
Hi, so good.
What's going on?
Nothing.
You had
All right, episode over.
You had a bad burger today. You're mad at your burger.
I had a terrible smash burger.
Don't name the place because
Okay.
I like them and I don't want to dox them.
Okay, fine. A place that shall not be named gave me grill scrapings instead of a patty.
But you didn't get anything on it. This was the debate we were having.
I removed the sauce and the cheese, which I know is I was asking for it. But hey, that's how you know if the meat's any good. And it's not.
But if it was just about the meat, if a burger was just about the meat, and I understand we have a vegetarian here, but if
Which proves that a burger is not just about the meat.
there you go. That's my point. If the burger was just about the meat, then it wouldn't have all the other toppings.
I don't know. I love a backyard burger. That's my genre.
You like a good grilled classic burger. You're from Texas.
Yeah, I don't need it to be too tricky. I mean, if it's done well, I can get into that. But the best is a good patty. And then I like the veggies on it.
Okay.
And I do like mustard, but nobody in LA seems to want to put mustard on a burger.
Not a big mustard town.
I'm
It's
pro mustard, big time.
Oh, God, I want it on everything.
Yeah.
By the way, and this is really important for your listeners, try this. Next time you're looking for a snack at home, get you a corn chip. Could be a Frito kind of thing, or very much could just be a tortilla chip. And open up a French's yellow mustard, squirt some in a bowl, and literally just dip your chips in mustard. And it's heaven.
Dip your chip in mustard,
Honestly,
everybody.
those are two of my favorite things that I've never
I
combined.
can't wait to hear you
I'm
report
excited.
back on this.
I've never thought of this.
This sounds good to me, except I think I would want like a hot mustard, like a spicy brown mustard.
Nope.
Okay. What about a honey mustard?
Nope.
Oh, no.
Are we
Honey
not
mustard,
honey mustard at
is
all?
like sweet pickles.
I'm telling you, you're going to want to. Someone introduced me to this.
Who
Edie
is this
Patterson.
freak? Okay, Edie.
TV legend Edie Patterson.
Former guest. Been a long time, Edie Patterson.
And we were sitting backstage at Groundlings, and we started just squirting mustard on corn chips and just chowing.
Yeah.
And we were all like, oh my God, this is so good. And now I do it at home.
I appreciate the advice. You know, I'm trying to think like what food hack I do around the house. Other than just peanut butter pretzels and peanut M&Ms.
Yeah, absolutely.
Throw them in a bowl together.
That's an old standby.
That's really good. What about you? Do you have a food hack?
I just turn everything into a sandwich. Like any
Foldable
set
item?
of ingredients can be a sandwich.
Do you roll it or do you fold it?
Depends on what I'm working with, you know. But even like on a plate, if I have like a dinner plate, like everything gets combined into like sandwich bites.
Okay, so let's say you have an eggplant. You have a salad. You have some grape tomatoes. And then you have some long carrots.
Okay, yeah.
How do you make that a sandwich?
You cut the eggplant in half. You got 2 pieces of bread there.
Okay.
You do some railroad ties with the carrots.
Okay.
Layer on the tomatoes. What was the other ingredient?
Yeah, grape tomatoes and then salad.
Oh, yeah, salad, a little topping. Eggplant on top. Sandwich.
What do you do with a whole apple? What if you can't
cut it?
What if you can't cut it? How can you make an apple a sandwich? This is what I want to know.
Easy. You slice those big sides of the apple to be your bread,
Yeah.
and then you just pulverize the rest of it and put it in the middle.
Apple sandwich.
Just pound it.
That sounds good, actually. Yeah.
An AppleMUSH sandwich.
Yeah.
Apple 2 ways.
AppleMUSH.
That's the new character coming out.
We just summoned AppleMUSH, the angriest member of the apple family tree.
We have a lot of apple-based characters on this show, Kevin. You may or may not know. I don't think they've ever appeared.
Yeah, I don't know anything
Apple
about
sauce, apple tart.
This is a children's
apple
show? What
crust.
Yeah, applesauce, apple tart. Well,
We're
applesauce.
regressing.
Apple Tart, who is like a prostitute, sex worker from
Apple who?
Apple Tart. She's like she's a Cockney sex worker.
She's from Birmingham.
Yeah.
I thought we were ending with a different consonant on that, and I was like, oh, I don't think you're supposed to say that.
Nope. Apple crumbs.
Oh, yeah.
Apple crust.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So now we got AppleMUSH. We got 5 of them. Kevin, how are you? Have you had any strange things? Any updates? I have to tell you, I have a friend from back home in Kansas City who tried to listen to your latest episode, which was about a year ago now. Hi, Lucifer. Everyone, Lucifer's in the house.
So's Nova.
The Clubhouse cat. And they could not listen to the episode. They were so scared by your story about the thing crawling around in your hedges in the backyard of your new home.
Yeah.
Any other strange activity or spooky stuff to report?
That I do still occasionally hear that human-sized shuffling.
Still.
I do.
Whoa.
Yeah. I'm not scared of it anymore because I don't know. I mean, it makes me feel a little weird in the moment, but I'm like, I know there's no room in there for anyone or even a large animal because I've now investigated the hedge, and it's either supernatural or it's the loudest mouse on earth that somehow creates footfall that sounds like a 300-pound man. But I
don't think it's gonna be a raccoon?
It wouldn't fit.
How would you make a raccoon into a sandwich?
I wouldn't. I'd make a sandwich for a raccoon and sit down at a table and eat it together.
I heard raccoons are evolving to do something, and now I forget what it was.
I think they're domesticating.
Oh, yeah, they're domesticating.
Yeah.
They're basically becoming domesticated animals.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. That's how they say dogs became domesticated, because they were wolves that would hang around the campfires.
Yeah, they're just hanging out. They
and
realized
eat the
we're
scraps.
the best place for them to get their food.
Yeah. It'd be kind of cool if, like, 200 years from now, everyone has raccoons as pets.
Love to have a raccoon. Little
I
buddy.
think you can.
Yeah.
You got a
They're
squirrel?
cute. They're cute and they're real clean. They wash their hands. You could probably get them to wash dishes.
Yeah. Get them to help out around the house.
Yeah.
Suddenly, dogs are unpopular, you know, because they can't wash dishes. Any spooky fortune tellings or prophetic dreams, supernatural encounters?
No.
What about the Groundlings Theater? Is that place not haunted? Every theater's haunted.
I do think it's probably haunted. And it's funny you should bring that up because I don't have a good story. I'm just going to preface this with this is an underwhelming story, but I will just say that the last show I directed there, we were hanging out as we often do late at night after the show, and we did something we'd done years in the past. We were like, oh, let's just go in the theater and turn all the lights out and just like be in that completely pitch black old theater.
Fun.
And it gets real fucking weird in there. It gets really scary and weird, and that's when you just know there's got to be some old ghosts hanging out in there.
What's weird about it?
The feeling of, I mean, that this is the least scary place on earth. First of all, there's maybe 15 of us still there. It's not a large place. It's a place we're so familiar with. There's no baked in psychological tendency for this should be scary. And the second you're in there and the lights and sound are taken away and we all are just quiet, it's like this thick feeling in the air of, it's almost like a weird free fall.
Whoa.
It's like, it's just, there's too much like mystery. It's weird. It's just a weird thing. I don't know. It just feels like it literally feels like you're floating. I don't know why. And it's too dark. It's black. And I don't know, that just creates a sensation. And suddenly every spirit in there is just like when the alien's inches away from her face in that movie. It just feels like every energy in that room is up against your face.
I wonder if it's because it is such a like echo space for all that. I mean, there's live music, there's live audience, there's live performers. I wonder if all of that like energy just gets like trapped in there.
Yeah. Interesting. It's just pure plain old energy that's just like, when you take your other senses away and you're really just feeling the stillness of it, it's too much energy for a still space.
Have you heard of ghost stories in the theater? Has anyone ever said anything weird's happened in there before?
No, not too specifically. Maybe, no, I haven't heard anything specific.
It may just be that the taking away your senses part, though. Like maybe what you're reacting to is the existential pit inside yourself when you take away all the external stimuli.
Yeah, Kevin, that's what happens when you just close down your mind and you have to look inwards.
You go, oh God,
terrified.
Oh wait, maybe I'm just experiencing my own inner thoughts.
Yes.
Interesting. Yeah.
It did.
That's probably what it is.
It did sound like it would make a good sensory deprivation tank. Maybe on like Wednesday nights, you guys can start renting it out. You know, for people to have the self-discovery sessions.
I mean, the challenge is the center staircase that goes down from the back of the audience to the stage. It's not that much distance. The challenge is like when we send each other one at a time and you have to go up the back and you have to walk down through the theater and then dart off stage to go back to the lit green room. And like, some people can't even do it. They can't make it. They don't make it.
Wait, this is what you make each other do during the darkness period?
Yeah. Like,
wait, so it's like a ritual?
Sometimes we all go in there and like hang out or hide from each other or whatever.
This is getting more antic-y than I thought it was.
Oh, I mean, like, we don't do it every time, but it happened a couple times during the run of the last show. We just went in there and fucked around. And like some people were like purposely making noise to scare each other, and some people were like, a couple people were like huddled on stage. It just felt so fucking scary and weird because it was so silent. But then the other thing is we would sometimes challenge people to go just one at a time into the theater and walk that center staircase down, and like sometimes people can't do it.
Okay, here's what I want to do as an exercise.
Okay.
So if you're listening to this at home, close your eyes unless you're driving. If you're watching this on the YouTube, when we get to the moment, let's cut to black.
Okay.
Kevin, I want you to make the scariest sound you can think of to hear in a pitch black space. Okay.
All right. And we're gonna close our eyes.
And we're gonna close our eyes too. All right.
All
So let me know when you're ready. Don't think too hard about it. We can go around and do it if we want to. We can. Take
let's
turns.
each do it.
Let's each do it. Okay, we're gonna start with Kevin. Okay, I'm gonna close my eyes. You ready? Okay, everyone, close your eyes. We'll cut to black here on the video. Let's go. Okay,
that's pretty terrible.
That just sounded like a butthole slightly opening and
like
letting out a
when
little
you're trying
bit
to
of air.
sneak one.
Yeah, is that what you want up against your face?
A ghost
pitch black of
sneaking
a
one?
haunted theater? I think that's pretty scary.
That's pretty good. All right, Riley, it's your turn.
Okay.
Okay, let's really try to scare each other. Okay, not bad. Got a little choky there at the end, which really terrified me.
Yeah, it started like an animal in distress, and I was like immediately like, oh, that's cute. I gotta go save it. And then when it started almost laughing, I was like, get the fuck away from
Went
me.
a little sinister.
Yeah, it became sinister. It's good.
All right, let's try it. Here we go.
Okay.
Yeah, it was good. Okay. I don't know where we're going with this.
You're like, hey, everybody, it's Bigfoot Collectors Club.
Okay, here we go. Ooh,
I bet you feel better now.
That went from your audition to be the next Count Chocula to some sort of like what's the big slimy guy in Star Wars?
Jabba the Hutt?
Yeah. Then it went to just Jabba the Hutt barfing up his lunch.
Listen, there are many, many different things to be scared of in the dark.
That's true.
All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back.
A break already? Yeah. What a pile of nothing you just gave everyone.
You know what? Fuck you.
Okay, sorry.
They know what they signed up for.
This is fucking free. What do the people expect?
No.
We do it for free. All right, we'll be right back. Speaking of free, this is why. Here you go. Okay.
Welcome back to a pile of nothing.
Welcome back to a big ass pile of nothing. I'm your host, Michael McMillian.
I mean, I thought you guys were supposed to give them stories.
We're just taking a break. We got to take a break for commercials.
We're catching up with our old buddy.
Yeah.
Making scary sounds.
No, people will think that's fun. Where'd this come from?
Oh.
Okay, now we're officially back. All right, everybody, let's get on to the good stuff. We have a new recurring segment here on the show that we started last year after your last appearance, Kevin. So we all know Bigfoot stories and legends from days of yore, but what's going on with Bigfoot lately? Like in the past couple months? That's a question we ask ourselves here on Bigfoot Collectors Club. We ask ourselves, where in the world is Bigfoot? San Diego? Okay, so we have a recent Bigfoot sighting. Actually, this is a recent report, and it's not so recent of a sighting.
Okay.
The sighting is
Took a while to get around to reporting it.
over 20 years old.
Okay.
However, it's a good one, and it involves Marines. Anytime we got Marines versus Bigfoot, it's worth talking about.
Sure.
So it was just recently reported over at BFRO. Do you know what BFRO is?
Bigfoot Reporting Organization.
That is pretty close. It's the Bigfoot Field Researchers Organization. So I would give you
They just dropped an F then.
Yeah, they did.
Bigfoot's one word.
Bigfoot's one word.
I bet you they had a lot of debate about that.
They
Like, we're not calling it the BFFRO.
People
will think we're saying we're BFFs.
We are the BFF
Who want Bigfoot?
Research Organization.
We're the BFFRO.
So here we go. This was reported in the year 2000, or this happened in the year 2005 in July in the state of Virginia in Stafford County. All right, get ready for this, guys. Location details. This incident occurred on Marine Corps Base Quantico, Virginia, in a restricted military training area near the Mout military operation in urban terrain training town. So this is like, they have one of those fake sets where they're like, oh, this is what it's like to like really take over America. The patrol originated from the Mout town at approximately, and then they give us some latitude and longitude that I don't want to know about. Okay. In the summer of 2005, this is from the person who is reporting the story, who was a Marine. I was stationed at the Marine Corps Base, Quantico, Virginia, working as part of the opposing force for the Basic School Infantry Officers course. I was there for over 3 years. During one of the multi-week field training exercises in the Mout Town training area, myself and 2 other Marines were instructed to leave the town at night and move on foot through the woods to link up with the vehicle at a designated pickup point approximately 500 to 700 meters away. The area was considered active, with students operating and using blank ammunition. Because of this, we were moving quietly with the flashlights off. There was little to no moonlight, and none of us had night vision devices. All three of us were non-commissioned officers with several years of training and experience, and we had operated in these woods many times before. We cut an azimuth on our compasses. Can someone tell me what an azimuth is?
No.
Let's do a quick Googs. Azimuth. Definition: a horizontal angle. Just say diagonally.
That's not what I thought it was.
What did you think it was going to be?
You know, when people unfortunately have a mouth that looks also like an ass.
Oh, yeah, an azimuth.
An azimuth. We cut an azimuth on our compasses and began moving in what should have been a nearly straight line towards the pickup point. After walking for what felt like an unusually long time, we reached a clearing and found ourselves at a road. To our surprise, we realized that we were back near the same area we had originally departed from. All three compasses had indicated we were moving correctly, yet we had somehow looped back to our starting point. Mm-hmm. This was disorienting and unsettling. So we got a trickster Bigfoot in the area that's making them lost.
Magnetic field manipulation.
Yeah, he's fucking with the magnetic devices. We decided to cut a new azimuth to a different reference point.
Just say route.
Just say, line, anything. Why is it azimuth? No one has ever heard of this word before.
Yeah.
Well, it was big 20 years ago.
Yeah. My favorite word is azimuth. That's the name of my dog and my new pet raccoon. We then just a course towards a different pickup spot further down the road. Approximately 15 to 20 minutes into the second movement, we heard a loud sound to our left, like a tree cracking or falling. Concerned about the possibility of a falling tree, we turned on our flashlights and looked in that direction. We observed two trees next to each other bending towards one another. When we looked up, approximately 20 to 30 feet above the ground, we saw a large, hairy creature with its back facing us. The creature appeared to be pulling the two trees together. The hair was a brown and reddish-brown color. I could not determine whether it had climbed the tree or was already in it, but it was clearly manipulating both trees with great strength. These are not small trees. The creature was large, approximately 8 feet in height, with a large body, far larger than a person, and its proportions and movement did not resemble a human. At that moment, I froze. I was the third person in our file. The Marine in front of me immediately started running. The second Marine shouted something and also started running. I turned my flashlight off because we were still in the training area and began running after them. As we ran, we heard a very heavy thud and then fast-moving pursuit behind us.
Oof.
What do you think so far, Kevin?
Imagine. Oh, I love it.
There were loud crashing and breaking sounds like something large moving rapidly through dense brush. This continued for approximately 20 to 30 seconds. At that point, I yelled for the Marine in front to turn on his light so we could move as fast as possible without falling. We turned our lights on and ran at full speed in the general direction of where we believed the road had picked up, and the pickup point were, no longer using our compasses. After approximately 5 minutes of running, we reached a vehicle. We jumped in and urgently told the driver to leave immediately. What we saw was not a black bear or any known animal in the area. Black bears in Quantico are relatively small. That would not explain the size and the way the creature was holding onto the trees with the long arms, and the strength required to bend the trees together, and the speed and power of the movement we heard pursuing through us in the dense forest. This figure did not resemble a person in any way. I do not believe a human could have been in that position or moved that way. The distance from us to the creature when we observed it was approximately 20 yards. The event has stayed with me for over 20 years. I have never encountered anything before or since that explains what we saw that night. So the only other thing they noticed was just the compass issue, as previously stated. There were 3 total witnesses. All 3 were U.S. Marines serving as non-commissioned officers at the time. They said just prior to the incident, we were moving on foot at night through a wooded area on a Marine Corps base after being instructed to depart the Mout town. So there's no other stories, no other instances that this guy had. The follow-up by the BFRO investigator Matthew Moneymaker, famous guy, said, I spoke with his former Marine, Andrew Bird, at length. He is credible, and he was not the only one who observed this figure that night. 2 other Marines were with him and saw the same thing. This is a Class A sighting because of the behavior and the location. So he gives it a grade A signing. I mean, this is a pretty good one.
Yeah.
You got 3 Marines. You got a Bigfoot up in a tree doing some kind of tree structure. Kevin, when you hear these stories, what does this make you think about the possibility of Bigfoot existing?
I like it. I like the possibility. I'm gonna bet that there is possibility. But as you know, I always want more proof than I ever get.
Yeah.
I mean, was it a bear?
He says but black bears are small.
But if it's that dark out and the bear's sort of up in the tree, in the shadows, what might look like, where you might not see that it's bare and foliage, that foliage may look like part of the creature, so it might have looked really big. But I think it's possible. Something about the way he said pulling that tree together, pulling those 2 trees together, that just is so specific. This doesn't sound like just a bullshit story.
Yeah.
It's just very specific to me. But then, okay, then that thing, the Bigfoot, lands on the ground and pursues them. Why can't it catch them?
Maybe it's just trying to chase them off. Maybe it didn't want to catch them. Maybe it's just trying to like bluff charge and get them out of its territory.
My question is, why 20 years later?
Why not report it?
Yeah, or why report it at all at 20 years? Like, it's just, why? That's such a long amount of time to tell the story.
I don't know. It could be a thing where like people, I wonder if it's somewhere on here in the notes section. It could be just a thing where people are like, this has always bothered me. I never knew what this was. If you're somebody who's like not into this shit,
yeah,
and then later you're retired, you have a little bit more time on your hands, and you're like, what was
surfing the web,
surfing that internet,
the FRO,
yeah, and you're like, what? Watching Discovery Channel,
yeah,
Travel Channel, something comes on, and you're like, wait a minute, So maybe it's like now after all these years, maybe I should report this thing. Because there is a stigma, We know that. We know that to be true.
I
know this.
We've learned.
We've
if I
learned
had
there's
this
a stigma.
experience today myself, and even though they've come to the conclusion this couldn't be human, this couldn't be whatever, I mean, it's at night. It's not like they literally were at the Grove at 3 p.m. and saw Godzilla, smash a building. It's like, if I saw what I thought was Bigfoot at night, I know I wouldn't even think to like figure out which organizations to report it to.
Yeah.
I would just be like, whoa, fuck. And
Yeah.
they're probably telling their friends their whole life, like this crazy thing happened to me. But yeah, if they're not in that world, they probably don't think about reporting it.
Why would you? We're in too deep, doing this show.
Yeah.
Riley, what do you think? You're our resident Bigfoot skeptic.
I mean, it's a compelling story. 3 witnesses. I would like to hear from the other 2.
Yeah, where are they?
I just something about 20. Like, the memory is so fallible, and 20 years is a long time.
Yeah, but sometimes you have those things. You're like, I remember it clearly.
That's true, and I have some things like that. But add it to the pile is what I say. Add it to the pile.
Have you guys? Who's the person? Like, you need a person on here who spends an enormous amount of time in the wilderness.
Yes. Not me.
Yeah, it's none of us. And
no.
I mean, I've spent maybe 5 hours total outdoors since I was a child. But like, you need somebody who, I bet that's who I would love to hear what stories they have.
Yeah, you don't like the woods. You're not a woods guy.
No, I detest them.
I've spent
Really?
more.
Oh, I hate the woods.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Do you want to
Like,
tell
like,
it? Can
you
you share the
elaborate on
story?
this
Like,
a little?
your beautiful house here in the canyon is like and it's like right off of the most main
Yeah, it's like 10 minutes
road.
away. Yeah.
But my God, like this is max that I want to go into the woods.
Can you share why?
I was lost in the woods in 5th grade.
Really?
Yeah.
He has an origin story.
Whoa, yeah.
Yeah, I was what is that? 9 or 10?
Yeah. 5th grade? Yeah. Around then? Around 11?
Yeah, my grandparents lived out. They had like hundreds of acres. I think it was in a very rural area, and it was hilly and woods. And I got separated from my brother when I was a little kid, my older brother. And
How long were you lost?
like maybe maybe like 5-6 hours.
That's a long time when you're a kid.
Whoa.
Holy shit. That is scary.
Were the police called?
Uh-huh.
How did they find you?
Well, it was back then. I mean, the police were about to be called, is my guess. But they were. I remember my granddad telling me when I got back to their house finally, he's like, I was about to call the police, as though this was my fault. He had kind of a stern response because he couldn't show his fear.
Yeah.
And my grandmother was sobbing, but yeah. But I eventually found my way to halfway into the ordeal, I found my way to a main road. And then I was frustrated and all the things, but I wasn't as scared. Because I knew I was on a main road and eventually would find a person,
How old were you?
I don't know, 10 maybe.
Oh, wow.
Did you make friends with a big furry man who was like, come with me, Kevin, and I will show you how to get back home?
Yeah.
Really big feet.
Yeah, but he didn't talk like that.
Oh.
Yeah.
How did he sound? It would be magical if you're like, now that I think about it, I was carried in the arms of a large hairy creature who guided me back home.
Yeah.
Just bending two trees together as I approached.
Fed me berries.
Yeah, so it does not take much for me to feel a little panic when I feel closed in by the woods and I can't see. And I love the desert because you can see forever.
Yeah.
And I don't like to be closed in, and I'm afraid I'll get lost. Probably.
You want to see that horizon.
Mm-hmm. I like a big sky, I like a big horizon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What were your feelings about the woods before this incident?
I loved them. As far as I can remember back then, I loved going to my grandparents' house and trekking around their property.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe we need to do some immersion therapy.
I think so.
I think I have to go back to that.
Yeah, you got to go. You got to go back.
We're just gonna let you go for 6 hours.
Yeah.
And you're gonna give me a little recording equipment, and I go into the woods. I spend the night.
Yeah.
And if I'm not mauled by a mountain lion, freeze to death, then I win.
And we'll almost call the police for you.
Thank you.
And it'll be really
Thanks,
stern
Papa.
when you get back.
Yeah. We'll blame you for doing it the whole time.
It was fun. They just had a list of things that we were afraid you fell into a thing. We thought, well, we were afraid that then all the things they almost did. We were going to get police helicopters, but none of it happened.
We almost looked for you.
They sat for 5 hours just going, well, this could be terrible.
Just imagining everything without actually doing the footwork.
Wait, so you made your way back? They didn't find you?
No, they didn't find me. I eventually got to the main road and then went the wrong way forever on the main road. And that led to, and the only houses I came across, no one was there. Because a lot of people that live there, that's
a
not
nightmare.
a lot of people, that's their country house. They're not always there. So yeah, I couldn't find a soul, not one car, anything. And then eventually I came around a corner and I knew these people's house, my grandparents' friends.
Okay.
And they were way on the other side of this canyon, miles from where I had gotten lost.
Oh, wow.
But I was like, oh, this is I don't remember what their name was, the Smith's house. And so then, sure enough, there he was in the driveway. So I walked up to him and then just started sobbing as a kid. And then he put me in his car and drove me the 5 minutes around back to my grandparents' house. And then I begged him to let me go on the street in front of their house because I thought I would get in trouble for bothering him. So I didn't. I didn't want my grandparents to know that I had asked for help. And I don't know. My kid brain was like, "Oh, don't drive. Don't. Not all the fanfare of you returning me home. Just leave me at the end of the driveway and I'll walk back up to the house." And I don't know if I would have just played it cool, like, "Hey, I'm back," which would have gotten me in so much trouble if I'd been gone just chilling for 6 hours. But I just thought the worst thing would be if everyone knew I had cried and gotten help and
Yeah.
Wow.
But of course he was like, no, I'm driving you up and I'm gonna go talk to your grandparents
And be like, hey, watch your grandson. 1980s grandparents. Come on.
I wonder if I looked filthy and feral. I don't know.
I know. I was like, did you ever stop to gaze at your reflection in a creek?
No, there was no water. But but I mean, lots of the area I was in I was going through the shrubs, dragging my face through shrubs. It wasn't always a clean path to walk.
Right.
So I probably got pretty mussed up.
It's
a nightmare.
Traumatic.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I'm sorry, Kevin.
And you know the cattle guards at the end of people's driveways? They're like a pit with bars over it. Like, you don't think anything about those when you're like driving over them and stuff. But as a little kid, I got to one of those and I had to cross it. And I was like, it felt very nervous to walk over it because like I'm going to fall through and like break my leg or something.
This became like high adventure.
Yeah. So I remember I was on all fours crawling across a cattle guard.
Oh my God.
But like they're not flat, they're round. So each footstep is on a round thing. And to my little foot and little kid, I just thought, I'm gonna slip through.
What was the what was the moment that was the scariest for you? Did you ever go, I'm living in the woods now?
I don't remember. The scariest part was in the beginning, and it was in the very beginning when I first couldn't.
Yeah, how did this happen?
I feel like I hope the story's not boring.
No, it's fascinating.
My brother and I were out, and we were following along this ravine, which he very much knew the path back home, and I thought I knew it, but I was dead wrong. And I thought it was like down the dry creek bed, 100 yards, and then a hard right into the thick. And if you just scale that thick embankment through the trees, you emerge into a clearing, and that was near the house. Like that's in my brain. I knew that was the way home. Mm-hmm. But I was mixing it up with a different path. I mean, it's such a huge property. And so my brother and I were walking the creek bed, and I thought it would be funny to run way ahead of him around the bend and then hide behind a tree and scare him.
This is how this happens.
Oh.
So I ran ahead and hid behind the tree, and then he came around the bend way, way out of ear and eye shot of where I was, and he went the correct way, which is a fork to the left. And so he went away from me and then just walked off and went home. And so then I was just waiting forever for him to cross my path and to scare him, and he never showed up. And I waited and I waited and I waited. And then I was hollering at him, and we don't know if he heard me hollering or not. Because I've gotten a mixed facial expression response from him about that. So
okay.
Like, bless his heart, he could have probably heard me and thought I was fucking around with him, because he knew I was in that mood. He saw me run off like I was going to go scare him. So he probably thought, yeah, whatever. But I'm sure he felt very guilty when 3 hours passed. But so from where I was then, and I was waiting for him and I couldn't find him, I thought, well, I know the way home. And that what I was doing was taking myself just deep into the rough.
Into the wilderness. Uh-huh. That's how that happens. Have you ever been lost, Riley, as a kid?
Not really, no. Nothing sticks out.
I did something similar. I was older. I was in 8th grade. So I was like, but I was in Rome with my dad. He had been on a business trip and took me to Rome, and we were at the Roman Forum. And it was one of those things where he's like, all right, well, let's head back because we're going to go to the Colosseum. And he was like, it's this way. And I was like, no, it's not. It's this way. And he's like, all right. And I was
challenge accepted.
My dad. Yeah. So I was like, I'm going to race my dad back to the entrance. And I ran off on the other thing. And I was like giggling because I was like, I'm going to beat him. He's going to get there and he's going to see that I was right. And I immediately got turned around. Didn't speak any Italian. Had no clue where I was. To retrace my steps, dad wasn't there. Took me a long time to find the entrance. Found the entrance and then waited around, and my dad never showed up.
Where was he?
He had crossed over to the Colosseum because he was panicking. And he's like, well, we talked about going to the Colosseum. Maybe he's over there.
How old were you?
I was like, probably 13. I was, But
you're in a foreign country, and that's very young.
Yeah.
And it's hilarious.
In a huge city.
Like, okay. This is where my colleague said he would meet me, so I'll go there.
Very,
fully leaving it up to
he's no longer alive to defend himself, but very Joe McMillian move. Yeah. So Then
he's at the restaurant. He thought, well, he should know this is where we're having dinner tonight.
Well, to his credit, he was like, now, if we ever get separated, you need to get he had given me a flyer from our little hotel He's like, you show them this and you say, take me here. And,
pretty cool.
And he was like, have the front desk pay the taxi driver, and when I meet you there, I will repay the front desk. And that's exactly what I did. I was like, all right. I was like, I guess I'm going to take a taxi back to the hotel. So I got in, and then I, through my broken English, Italian, like the hotel manager figured out what was going on, paid the guy, and then I just sat on the stoop. And about 15 minutes later, another taxi arrived, and my dad got out and he went, and clutched his chest when he saw me just sitting there, waiting for him to come back.
Wow.
Wait, but okay, so yeah, I mean, I kind of like gave your dad shit, but like that's some really good planning.
Yes, yes.
And then he also trusted you and knew you would execute it, and so then he thought, because he could have wasted a day hunting for you.
And this is a man who is terrified of pickpockets. Like anytime I would go, like Kate and I went to Paris last year. It's like, you have to be aware of the pickpockets. And the pickpockets in Rome, the pickpockets in Paris. I mean, yeah, there are pickpockets, but like he's acting as if I'm swimming in shark infested waters.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he was like, the most relieved I've ever been is when I got out of that taxi cab and saw you sitting on the hotel steps. Wow. But it always begins with a little fun and games. Like, I know better, and I'm going to trick or scare somebody, and then you're like, next thing you know, you're like, I'm lost in a big city, or I'm lost in the woods.
I was lost in New York City with my high school group, and I got our high school theater club went, and I got lost from everyone, and all I knew is I had to get to Tavern on the Green. We had a lunch reservation at Tavern on the Green, which is inside the park.
Yeah.
Or it used to be. I don't know if it's still there. And I was on somewhere near, I made it to somewhere near the fringe, the outskirts of Central Park. And there was a big hotel there. And I was standing on the sidewalk, and what I needed to do now, I realize, is walk into the park.
Yeah. Or ask the front desk, where's Tavern on the Green, and they will immediately be able to tell you.
But I was standing there, and I wasn't particularly freaked out or anything, but I was just trying to figure out where I should go. And I was standing there on the sidewalk, and I hear, what are you looking for? And I turn, and it's a bellhop in a uniform. So I'm like...
How hairy was the bellhop? How big were his feet?
Exactly. And, God, he was hairless, I bet. Just like slimy white dude. And he was in his bellhop uniform, and he went, what are you looking for? And I mean, let me paint the picture. I was 17 and gorgeous. I had a full head of hair, and I was so skinny and angelic, and with a kiss of the gay already emerging. I was a real target. And he goes, where are you going? I go, I'm supposed to meet my group at Tavern on the Green. And he goes, oh, this is the shortcut. And there was a service entrance into the hotel that he was standing near. Like, maybe he was on a smoke break or something. And he wanted me to go in this, like, not a front door of a hotel. Like,
here's a shortcut, kid.
He goes, here's a shortcut. And so I went, okay. And I started following him. And some dude on the street, some regular passerby, New York Joe, was like, hey, where are you going? And I went, I'm trying to find Tavern on the Green. And he goes, no, come here. It's right there. Go into the park. You see that building right? That's Tavern on the Green. And then I look back in the
bellhop had vanished.
The bellhop had gone back into the portal from which he'd come.
Yikes.
So I almost either got kidnapped and pulled into another dimension by this supernatural beast or demon, or I would have gotten just fondled in a hallway.
Yeah.
Yikes.
But, yeah.
True terrors of the woods and the city.
True terrors. And I had Joe McMillian telling me, like, here's your emergency plan.
Now, if you see a bellhop and he tells you to go into the service entrance,
I just had no plan.
Do not follow the
walk in the opposite direction.
Follow me.
Yeah.
I did think of a time I got lost.
Uh-huh.
But I was a little older, but it was when I first got my driver's license. And like, I'm old enough that we just like had the Thomas Guide, the book.
Oh yeah, Thomas Guide. We
Obviously
talked about it on the show before.
So I had the Thomas Guide. I planned my route, and I was trying to. I missed my exit, and I got off the freeway downtown, and I drove into Skid Row.
Yeah,
and I was completely lost, and I had never seen anything like that before. And
LA, for those of you who don't know, LA has a notorious Skid Row area.
Yeah.
It's like where the Night Stalker used to like find his victims.
It's very grim. Yeah. And so that was a moment of sort of just like true panic, because I'd only been driving for like a month maybe, or something like that. And it just, I don't know, it was just like pure fear, but I just sort of like just wandered around, and it was an eye opener for sure. Like being like a sheltered kid and then seeing, oh, people live like this.
Yeah.
Like,
and it's like
right here.
1 block away from like regular downtown.
Yeah. Like financial district and all that. Yeah. So that's
scary.
That was a good lump in my throat. Yeah.
It's like driving into a zombie apocalypse.
Yeah. Yeah.
Scary stuff. All right. Well, we've learned some real valuable lessons today on the show. We're going to take another break, and then when we come back, we'll get into some high strangeness. All right, everybody, we're back from our little break, and it's time to kick off a brand new 2026 list of our favorite game to play here on the show. I'm going to run down a list of phenomena, rapid fire style. If you're open to it, you're going to say, believe it. If you're not open to it, you're going to say bullshit. You have to decide here and now.
How many seconds do I get to decide?
A fraction of a second.
Okay.
This is a game that we call bullshit
Or believe it.
All right.
Let me take a sip.
I almost called you Kevin McAllister because you were lost in New York.
Gotta hit that coffee if I'm supposed to respond quickly.
Yes, just let it flow out of you. Here we go. Kevin Kirkpatrick, on your mark, get set, ghosts.
Wait, what are my options?
Believe it or bullshit.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
Ghosts.
Start. Okay. One more time.
Ghosts.
Bullshit.
Bigfoot.
I kind of believe it.
UFOs.
Bullshit.
The Loch Ness Monster.
Bullshit.
The Bermuda Triangle.
Believe it.
Tarot cards.
Bullshit.
Manifestation.
Believe it.
El Chupacabra.
I don't know enough about that.
Ouija boards.
Bullshit.
Seeing the future.
Bullshit.
Out of body experiences.
Yeah, believe it.
Aliens.
I believe it. I just don't think we've really met them.
Dogman.
Huh? Well, no. What? I don't know about him.
Goatman.
Oh, I know about Goatman. Bullshit.
Sheep Squatch.
Sheep Squatch? I don't know anything about
The
that.
big sheep, but like walks like a man.
Bullshit.
Bat Squatch.
Stop. Bullshit.
Life on other planets.
Yeah, I believe it.
Life after death.
In some sense, I think I believe it, yeah.
Okay, great. Now, why did you say bullshit to UFOs and you kind of held your finger out? Like, let me come back to that.
Oh, I did? I don't know what I did with my finger.
I think UFOs are bullshit.
Well, I think, yeah, I tend to. And a lot of that is so much of the reporting smacks so hard of bullshit. And when I've seen the people talking about it, I just get, my bullshit radar goes crazy. Does that mean in that cacophony, is that the right word? In all those reportings, maybe there's one or two that are true, but so many people have been bullshitty about it, reporting them, that it's colored. Are you okay?
Yeah, what's going on over
I lost
there?
my glasses. I heard every word you were saying.
Yeah, so I think that, okay, if I'm going to say I believe it, it's probably that I believe there's been one or, a handful of sightings, but just, I feel like people have really abused that one. I feel like everybody's got a UFO sighting because they see anything that's, I'm not sure what that is, and they're immediately like, I'm so rare and fortunate to be someone who saw a UFO. Like, I don't know. I just get a real bullshit vibe of it.
Wow. Okay. Well, this is actually, you've set me up perfectly here, Kevin, because.
And by the way, you're colored by the fact that you want UFOs to be true so bad. Like if you had
that seems like an unfair judgment.
No, you want it so bad. So if you saw a shooting star, your brain would go, UFO.
I'm not an idiot. I know what a shooting star is.
Like whenever there's a new model of car come out and it zooms by us at a cafe, you're always like, Kevin, UFO.
That's true.
He does do that.
I'm like, low flying UFO. Time travelers. That's what I say.
And then I have to go, no.
I'm like, that car was too futuristic. It must come from the future.
No, that's a pole star, Michael.
Oh, okay. I want it to be true so badly. Okay, so we are going to get into this week's story of high strangeness. And I hopefully don't have to tell you the passcode to this iPad. Kevin, just hold on to this because you're going to play one of our characters. I will give you a little signal when it's time. Don't worry about it right now. But just maybe have your finger hovering over that so it doesn't lock screen on you. But you're going to read those lines.
Touch the screen, it keeps it away.
Yeah, exactly. But don't worry about that yet. So. Full disclosure, okay? So here's what happened.
So keep physical contact
at all
with
times.
The iPad at all times.
Yeah.
But then also don't worry about it.
Yes.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
You can hold two truths at once.
It's like a Tamagotchi. You know,
yeah. Just every now and then just give it a little
attention.
Yeah, a little.
My pea brain right now is just flooded right now.
I know.
With touch it, keep it awake, touch it.
Well, just don't worry about it.
No, I got it.
Okay.
It's
So
gonna be so distracting.
I gotta be
now. I'm just watching him tapping
easy.
the pad.
It's just like what I assume like pleasing a woman. Like it's just this light little.
Yeah, that's it. That's how you do it.
Yeah, just a light little, But don't think about it too much.
Right.
Yeah.
Still
gotta
pleasing a woman.
You gotta pay attention to what else is going on in the room.
We're making fun of men, by the way, by saying that.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So. As I was saying, maybe at the top of the show, depending on what the cut was, it's been a little bit of a rough re-entry into podcasting at the beginning of 2026. But so I sat down this week, spent days reading on the story that I've been wanting to do on the show, writing, researching, and then about 15 minutes before I had to leave to come here, I noticed another document in my notes where I was like, huh? And then realized that I have already talked about this on the other side in a loosey-goosey episode this summer where I kind of like read from some articles. So I call Riley in a panic and I say, I think I've done this already. Completely forgot about it. But I hadn't really done it yet as a segment of High Strangeness. Yeah. So if you heard the proto version of this over on the other side, well, hey, welcome to my process.
Yeah.
And if you haven't heard this before, then get ready, because I don't think Kevin has.
No, I bet I haven't.
How's that going over there?
Good. How many seconds do you think it lives without needing to be retouched?
I would say exactly 4.5 seconds.
So every 4 seconds I touch the iPad.
I would
keep
just
it
say
awake.
Every 10 seconds, just give it a little
10
brush.
seconds.
I don't know, 30 seconds.
Would it be distracting if I count out loud?
See the screen dim? Give it a little.
Oh, that's a great one.
Maybe just mouth the words, don't say it out loud, and then we'll be okay.
Yeah, and then if it locks, I'll give you the code, and then we can just beep it, or I'll change the code on the iPad.
On the event that a listener finds your
I love
iPad.
it. You think you're going to get jumped by one of your listeners? They're going to snatch your iPad.
Give me that iPad!
And then what do they have access to?
It's my dead father's iPad.
Okay.
And that's why I don't have it set up the way that I want.
Oh.
It was the last thing he ever gave me. As he died, he handed me his iPad and then said, just touch this like you would a woman to keep it open. I was like, okay, Dad. Okay, here we go. On January 8th, 2008, 4 people outside Stephenville, Texas, Steve Allen, Mike Odom, and his wife, not her name. That's not, it's hold on. Time out. Already fucked up. How's that iPad going?
Oh, it's great.
Let me double check her name because I know I got it wrong here. Okay, can we start over?
No.
We're not going to start over. Oh, here it is. Okay. I'm just going to copy and paste this. Okay. I put Claudia, but it's Claudette. Okay, everybody? Okay, here we go. January 8th, 2008. 4 people outside Stephenville, Texas.
Oh, wait, I have heard this just like a few seconds ago.
Steve Allen, Mike Odom, and his wife Claudette and their friend Lance were set to enjoy a campfire on Odom's property when they witnessed a massive unknown craft heading east to west in the evening sky. The craft bore large, bright lights the color of magnesium flares, which appeared as orbs at first. Allen, a pilot himself, described them so bright that they almost hurt your eyes to look at them. As the orbs moved overhead, the men could see that they were part of a large triangular aircraft. As it vanished to the west, the group watched as 2 F-16 jets flew overhead, chasing after the craft. Read your first line there. Kevin, you're going to play Steve Allen, this eyewitness.
The jets looked like they were chasing the lights, and the lights seemed to be toying with them. It was like a 100 horsepower car trying to keep up with a 1,000 horsepower one.
Now, Steve Allen described witnessing these 7 lights across the back of the craft, starting as a line, but then they transform into an arch shape, then converted into a vertical shape, and then split and made 2 shapes, and then these turned into fire and just vanished.
Whoa.
And he's not the only person that would go on to see that same shape. Other people would report that same sequence of lights happening that night.
Sure.
The weird thing about it is that as he watched this craft fly by, he described feeling full of peace and bliss.
What amazed me is there was no wind noise, no engine noise. There was silence. When it came past us, I developed the most peaceful, easy feeling I think I've ever had in my life. It was almost like a religious experience, like I was at one with whatever it was. Something I've never had before or since then. It was unreal.
And he said this thing was, he had a friend ask him, well, how big was it? Was it about as big as a Walmart? And he said, oh, it was bigger than a Walmart. He said this thing was a mile wide, this giant craft.
Whoa.
So this encounter was just one of dozens that occurred on the night of January 8th, 2008 in Stephenville, Texas, involving strange multicolored lights, orbs, and a big black flying triangle. The case remains a mystery, a mass UFO encounter that rivals the size of the Phoenix Lights. If not in the size of the populace who witnessed the crafts, then certainly in the size of the relevance of the case to the UFO phenomenon. Club Scouts of all timelines, it is time for us to finally turn our attention to the UFO story known as the Stephenville UFO encounter. Now, have you ever been to Stephenville, Texas? You're from Texas.
I've been through it.
What's it like from your memory? Can you describe it?
No, I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm. It's a dairy town in, would you say, central Texas?
Yeah.
It's about an hour 15 drive southwest from Fort Worth. Mm-hmm. It's located in Erath County. It has a population of about 20,000 people in 2008. And it's farmlands. It's farmlands, big dairy. They call it the dairy capital of the world. And it's not really the type of place, from what I could gather, that you would think anything exciting would really happen.
I'm sure there's a little downtown, but I don't even remember that. I just remember it's just rural. Yeah. Farmland.
Well, what happened on January 8th of 2008 changed all of that. After Steve Allen and his friends witnessed the mile-wide luminous craft, he called friends who worked at the local airport, who then checked in with the radar tower at Fort Worth Airport, who claimed that they had nothing to report. Frustrated with lack of answers, Allen the next morning phoned the local paper, the Empire Tribune in Stephenville, where he spoke to a local reporter named Angela Joyner. Now, Angela Joyner, excuse me, everyone, I have a bit of a frog in my throat. You're fine there. You can let go of that now. Angela Joyner is really the local hero of this story. She's the one who took the case seriously, started reporting on it, and then basically got punished for it, which really fucking sucks. And sadly, she died in 2021 of COVID. But she would go on to be like, talk about this story for the following decade and really try to say this is something that really happened to people here. So Angela Joyner talked to Steve. She said, I believe this guy. He is a no-nonsense dairy farmer, or he was in the farm industry there, and he was a pilot himself. And she was like, if Steve says he saw this, then they really saw something, because he's like not the type of guy to like go out and like spin a yarn. So she took the story to her editor, Sarah Vanderburge. And Sarah Vanderburge had recently moved there from California, took herself very seriously, wanted to be respected as an editor. And she heard the story and said, okay, write me up a little bit of a pitch and we'll talk about it. She went home that night and Angela Joyner went, I'm going to publish this story. And she put the paper to print without her approval. And the next morning, Sarah Vanderburge woke up to see a huge front page headline that read, possible UFO sightings in Aerith County. And she got pissed off. Afraid that the news was a tabloid piece, Vandenberg got back to the office to bitch out Joyner, and then was surprised to learn from the publishers that they had sold out of every paper at every stand in the area. And she went, okay, there's something to this story. Well, why was this a big sellout? Aside from the grabby headline, it turns out that many people in the Stephenville area had seen weird lights that night. And not just that night. Dozens of eyewitnesses came forward with their stories, including a hunter named Richard Sorrells, a police constable named Leroy Gayton. A couple weeks earlier, Sorrells was deer hunting on his property when he saw a massive craft flying over the tree canopy. He said the whole woods went dark like there was an eclipse. And he looked up and saw a black triangle that blocked out his entire view of the sky. He said he looked to the right and could not see where it ended. He looked to the left, couldn't see any corners, and he looked down tried to see past the nose of this thing and couldn't see any sky.
Whoa.
And Joyner says that this story was particularly unique because it was the one eyewitness account that happened during daytime. He said that the craft was rivetless. There were no nuts and bolts. He's staring at this thing through the scope of his rifle, and he thought about shooting it. And he was like, maybe I don't want to start an intergalactic war. But he said the one thing he said, he could see indentions, column-like indentions in the belly of the craft that started a bit wide and then made sort of ended in cone shapes
like
going
cone,
into the craft. There were rumors, and Steve Allen had heard this. And I don't think, because Sorrells ever said this in the news, but there were rumors going around town in a very Mac Brazel and Roswell kind of way after the Roswell incident, that there were portals in the craft and he could see an occupant in the craft that looked like a giant praying mantis.
Whoa.
And mantids, Kevin, are one of the common types of alien beings that people will report in alien abduction stories. So he watched it take off. He said it was barn gray. It wasn't shiny. He called it barn gray. So I think like a matte finish. Mm-hmm. And he said he watched this thing take off at a 45-degree angle, thought that it would go like tip up to go, but stayed flat. And then suddenly he said it was almost like it vanished. It was almost like it disappeared in thin air. No noise. He said this thing, the way it took off, it should have sucked him up in the draft and taken him with it. But he said there was no interaction with the atmosphere, which made me think about the Age of Disclosure documentary that we just talked about over on the other side. That these things don't interact with atmospheres or going in and out of water, that they have some sort of warp bubble around them that allow them to completely manipulate the physics, basically. So a couple, let's see. So Sorrells, who would recount his story on later that week on Larry King Live, said that after he reported this story, military helicopters and other military people started showing up on his property and harassing him. He said low-flying helicopters would come and they'd drive his cattle, work his cattle into frenzies. And he would get knocks on the door and they'd be like, whatever you saw, you're not supposed to talk about it anymore.
Really?
He said he got into his pickup truck and there was a bullet casing sitting on his dashboard. He told the Empire Tribune that a military guy told him, son, we have the same caliber weapons you have, but we have more of them. You need to shut your mouth about what you saw. And Sorrell said, I'm trying to decide whether or not to open the door. We're just standing there face to face looking at each other. I'm thinking he's dressed for the elements, and the dogs are raising such a ruckus, he must know he's in danger of being caught. And that's when I realized he wanted me to see him. The man then turned away and then walked back into the woods. So he was getting harassed like MIB style by military types.
Weird. Why? Weird.
I don't know. This is all goes into the classic UFO stuff. On January 8th, the same night that Steve Allen and his friends saw the massive craft, Police Constable Leroy Gayton was walking out to the car, about to leave to go rent a video for his wife's birthday, when he looked up to the sky and...
That's all you're doing for your wife's birthday?
He's like, they had cake.
Lucky her.
This guy doesn't know how to keep an iPad on, you know?
Were there iPads in 2008? Yeah, it's true. He had no practice. They didn't have touchscreens yet. So he looks up and he sees in the sky flashing red orbs and his sun just going blinking in and out all around the sky. And then his son came out and watched them and was like, Daddy, what's that? And then they formed a line and then shot off into the night sky. Oh. That was the same night and then 2 F-16 fighter jets pursue it. So 2008 wasn't the first time orbs had been seen hovering over the area. Another eyewitness, Dr. Norma Briseño, a high school principal, claims that she had first seen them way back in 1989 during Christmas break while getting ready to travel to Mexico with her family. It was Mother's Day, and her mom was out feeding cows, and lights started appearing in the sky like bubbles. She called out her daughter, Norma, and Mom was afraid of these light bubbles. She thought they were evil spirits. And the next day, while driving to Mexico, the bubbling lights returned, and Norma watched them from her car window, and she thinks that they were the same lights, whatever they were, that appeared in the night sky on January 8th, 2008. She's like, these things have showed up here before. I saw them when I was a kid. Constable Gayton was initially reluctant to share his story because he was an elected official, but relaxed when so many other people came forward with their stories. And come forward they did. Pat Leewood, a local bank chairman, reached out to MUFON director Robert Powell, who was a nanotech engineer, to host a town hall so eyewitnesses could gather and report their story to... the experts who were MUFON. Nobody knew who to call and talk about this with. Sure. And the military was saying, we weren't flying any jets. We didn't do anything that night. So not only was Pat Leewood a big deal in town, his family had been there for a long time. His father had been mayor. Pat and his wife, Lisa, were eyewitnesses on the night of January 8th as well. They had their friend Kent over for a backyard hang. I love everyone's just having a campfire on this night. So they were out drinking next to the campfire, and Kent starts telling them, I saw the weirdest thing a couple days ago. I saw a big black flying Dorito flying through the sky. And they were all laughing at him and teasing him, and he got up and looked up in the sky and goes, oh, well, they're back. And they went, who's back? And they looked up and they saw this giant craft flying overhead, the black triangle with the row of 7 lights on the back. So Pat was like, I got to figure out what the hell this thing is. So he contacts Robert Powell from MUFON. He said, let's do a town hall thing. How many people usually show up for these conferences? And Robert Powell says, I don't know, 35 is usually max what we get. So they set up a hall for people, the banquet hall. They tell everybody we're going to have a meeting with the MUFON people to talk about the UFO sightings. They set up 35 chairs and hundreds of people show up.
Sure.
And Robert Powell goes, how many of y'all had an incident that night? And dozens of hands shoot up in the air. Whoa. And they were like, holy shit, there's really something going on here. And Angela Joyner from the Empire Tribune was there that night taking people's stories and continuing to report on this. Sadly, a few weeks later, Angela Joyner got fired from the paper by her editor because she had ignored her, orders to sit on this story. And despite all of the town and selling out all of these papers, they basically were like, you ran the story without permission, you're done. But she continued to go online and be sort of a champion for what became known as the Stephenville Lights. Ironically, 9 months later, that same editor-in-chief, Sarah Vanderburge, would see the lights in the sky that July driving home. She pulled over and she watched it and she went, well, shit, that's what everybody's been seeing.
Wow.
So let's look at the evidence of the case. The military, as I mentioned, denied flying jets in the airspace over Stephenville and blamed the UFOs on the eyewitnesses' stupidity, basically. From an NPR article published that week, military officials, however, were skeptical. They said the residents are letting their imaginations run wild and pass it off as an optical illusion. They said it was likely nothing more than a reflection of sunlight on 2 airliners. Officials at a nearby Air Force base also said their fighter pilots didn't chase down anything that night. And then hearing this, I'm going to pass this over for Kevin to read. I forgot about this line. Steve Allen heard this explanation by the military.
Here you go, Steve.
And he said this, Kevin. You see where it's...
No.
A reflection off 2 airliners? How about a reflection off my white ass?
Hell yeah, Steve.
He became a real keyboard hero trying to figure out what this was. He was pissed because he was getting denied left and right by the military and everything. He also said that somebody came to his door and said, you're a prominent guy in town. It would be tough to explain how you would disappear without explanation. So he was getting threats as well. So then 2 weeks later, the military goes, oh, did we say we weren't flying any F-16s out there? Hold on, we were. They said the Air Force Reserve in nearby Fort Worth initially scoffed at reports and denied the possibility that it had fighters in the area. Air Force officials reversed course Wednesday, however, and admitted that there were nearly a dozen F-16 flying over Stephenville that night. Major Carl Lewis attributes the change in response to an internal communications mistake. There was an error that was reported, and we corrected that error as soon as possible, he said.
So they're saying that all the lights were F-16s.
They were like, at first they said, well, we weren't even flying F-16s.
Right.
Then they went, well, we were, but there weren't any UFOs out there.
Right.
So then what happens next is Robert Powell from MUFON teams up with this guy, Glenn Schultz, who has radar experience from working at the White Sands Missile Range. And these guys decide, all right, let's get the radar data from that night and see if anything shows up on the radar that would corroborate Steve Allen's story, Pat and Lisa's story, and Leroy Gaten's story. And sure enough, they fucking find it. They had to file multiple Freedom of Information Act requests to get the radar, but basically got from the FAA the radar logs of June 8th, 2008. And tracked all the F-16 jets, and it lined up with where the eyewitnesses said that they were. Anything that had a transponder on the radar, they were able to pinpoint that night. And then they could find anomalous things showing up on the radar that did not have transponders, but moved at speeds that were described by the eyewitnesses, which is pretty fucking insane. Schultz-Powell concluded that the radar data confirms the witness observations of an object, as well as the Air Force's statement that said 10 aircraft were operating in the area. They say that it is too difficult to say what the witnesses saw, but there was something there. Twice, they say, radar picked up an object traveling at nearly 2,000 miles per hour, and at other times it showed a slow-moving object. So Gayton said that it was moving slowly and then turned and shot off in a direction that was basically towards where Steve Allen and his crew were.
Right.
And it all corresponds with happening around the same time, around 6 p.m. that night. Really cool stuff.
But the radar doesn't say anything about the size of the object at all, or
Let me see. I have all of this in my notes.
You just check
here.
that radar data for me real quick.
Let me pull up the radar.
Pull that
so,
up.
Kevin, what are you thinking as I'm describing this stuff? As someone who thinks that UFOs are bullshit, what do you think's going on here?
Well, I like this one.
And why?
Well, because there's a lot of corroboration.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm liking this one as something.
Okay. Now, living in Texas, you know how big that sky is. We were talking about it. So you can really see what's going on up in there, don't you think?
Yeah. We didn't always get a lot of sky. Sometimes it was sort of obscured by, we had a lot of Dorito planes.
Yeah, a lot of, okay.
Of course.
So here are the quotes from Robert Powell, who says, so once I identified where the F-16s were, I went to start looking for objects that did not have transponders. What I find is radar data that confirms what Steve Allen and Leroy Gayton have told me. There are 2 radar points that showed an object moving without a transponder. The 2 data points match the time and geographical location of Steve Allen's sighting. This is outside of the military operating area, so it should have a transponder if it is a military aircraft, but it doesn't. In the case of Leroy, I had about 5 data points on the radar indicating there is this object. It's not very often that you get radar data that just corroborates exactly what a witness said in terms of geographic location at the time.
Sure.
These stories check out with radar data, so there's absolutely no doubt that there's an object in the sky and that the object that's in the sky does not have a transponder code that tells you that you're dealing with something, that tells you you're dealing with something real, whatever it is.
Right. Yeah.
So they didn't necessarily say the size of it, but they said it was there and moved in the patterns that the eyewitnesses on the ground were saying.
Are we saying these 7 lights and the Doritos are the same thing?
This is where things are, it's kind of like the Phoenix Lights. They're of the same thing or they break apart from it and it changes. It's an anamorphous object.
Got it.
Because they did say that mile-wide craft is the big Dorito, but then he said he saw the taillights on this thing go from blinking in and out in a line to an arch to a vertical shape with a hot red center and then break into 2 sections, burn like fire, and then vanish.
Weird.
So whatever this craft is, it might change shapes as well. Or sometimes they're just appearing as bubble lights in the sky, blinking in and out and not in a straight line. So it's really hard to say if it's just one object, if there are multiple objects, and then one like mothership essentially where these lights are breaking off from. It's also happening at night, so they're getting, the outline of the craft, but not getting daylight views in the case that like Ricky Sorrells did when he was out hunting.
Right.
But Leroy Gayton saw lights again on February 2nd. He got a call that there was a break-in alarm in a local store. So he got up, took his car down, and above the store there was a single orb floating in the sky, and he filmed it on his dash cam, which was VHS. He said it was a brand new tape, equipment running properly, but on playback, it's all distorted.
Whoa.
But you see a flashing ball in the sky with the timestamp on it from his dash cam, but that goes in and out. It's like basically a really bad recording, as if whatever it is interfering with the equipment that's taking the video.
That's wild.
Yeah. So this is the Stephenville, Texas UFO event of January 8th, 2008. So about, what is that? What are we, do the math for me? 12, 15 years ago? What is that?
Close enough.
Close enough. Yeah. 12 years ago. So what do you think? What the hell is that, Kevin?
Yeah, that's a compelling case. It's just so much corroboration of evidence and eyewitness. That's really interesting. And I've heard of this. I mean, a lot of people probably heard of the Stephenville.
It's a lesser
someone like
known.
Me who doesn't follow this. It's lesser known.
It's a lesser known one.
Texan then.
Netflix has a story on it in their Encounters miniseries.
There's not a standalone documentary on this?
No, there should be.
Yeah.
There's the Encounters episode. Larry King did a segment on it the week of, and it was like a big deal. And Steve Allen and his wife and Richard Sorrells was on it. Leroy Gayton was interviewed. Angela Joyner was interviewed. And then that's when, like, also, unfortunately, a lot of the people, with the exception of, I think, Leroy Gayton, Steve Allen lost a lot of business because of it. He was ridiculed. Angela Joyner got fired from the paper because she ran the story. There was still such a stigma around this stuff, especially in this part of Texas. And a lot of the other eyewitnesses, some we didn't even talk about on this segment, they were like, they really keep coming back to this feeling like a religious experience, probably because it's Texas and the culture there. But a lot of people think that it's like the UFO thing might be some sort of spiritual thing as well, whatever angels are, that this is how they appear to people. But weird stuff.
Sounds really military involved to me.
Very.
Is there a base right around there?
I mean, Fort Worth is nearby.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm sure there's so many military bases. I mean, they're flying those F-16s out of someplace.
There's normal activity. I think there's normally activity with military.
But it's got the weird rumors. There's a lot of like of seeing an occupant, which is a mantid alien, and that there's also like there's a parallel between Richard Sorrells, the hunter, and Mac Brazel. Because if you recall in the Roswell series, Mac Braswell was driving a new truck around town and people thought that the military paid him to shut up and stop talking about it. And people also said that they think because there was a point where Richard Sorrells just stopped talking about it.
Oh, wow.
And they think that maybe he got paid off by the government to just finally keep his mouth shut. So there's a lot of also like, oh, I heard a rumor about this and I heard a rumor about that. And why is he suddenly not wanting to talk about it anymore? Or they really scared him to the point that he shut up. But, on Larry King, he didn't seem scared to talk about it. He's like, I told this guy to get off my property.
Yeah.
This is like, again, Texas,
Yeah.
So it's a cool case. It's a big case. And there's not enough about it out there, I think. And it's one where witnesses are still alive. So we could really do some good research and get a lot of stories out there. It's a recent case. I mean, 2008, it's not that long ago.
Recent. Yeah. And the fact that you have the actual radar data too. Is, although if they were testing some sort of top secret thing, it probably wouldn't have a transponder on it.
It wouldn't. I mean, and if it's top secret, great. But also that doesn't explain it being able to like vanish in the blink of an eye.
Or being a mile wide.
And running without engine sound, silent. I mean, it doesn't make sense.
No, it really doesn't.
Yeah, but it also doesn't make sense that a praying mantis could build
that makes perfect sense.
a destroyer.
Well, it might be a robot.
Think about their hands.
It might be a robot.
That's a good point.
How can they hold a wrench?
It might just be a robot looking out the window. Doesn't necessarily mean it's the person who invented the craft. You see a dog sitting in the car. Do you think that dog built the car?
I've wondered.
Could be a pet. We don't know.
It's their pet.
It's their version of a dog just hanging out, waiting for their owner to come back from collecting soil samples.
I like that.
All right. Well, there you go. The Stephenville UFO event. Kevin Kirkpatrick, thanks for being here.
My pleasure.
We appreciate it. Yeah. So do we have a collector's corner? Plugs? Anything?
You guys chat for a second.
Where are you going? Oh, are you going to go grab something and show us? So we have a segment at the end of the show called Collector's Corner, Kevin, where we talk about anything that we're like into right now. Are you watching or reading or collecting anything that you recommend? I, for one, am into The Pit. Love The Pit. Finally catching up on that. Loving it.
I'm current on The Pit. Mm-hmm. I don't know if I love it, but I don't actually I like watching it just fine, and I do not understand what is particularly compelling about it.
I find it so like I put it on and I'm immediately sucked into it.
Yeah, but what are you sucked into? Just like figuring out what's wrong with that patient?
No, I just think it's like shot so well. I think Noah Wyle is so compelling as an actor on that show. I'm really enjoying. I love the like it's all kind of real time. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I just really like the characters. I like the feel. It gives me that sense of nostalgia of watching like ER on a Thursday night, a must-see TV, but it's like made for premium cable or premium streaming now. It just, I really enjoy it. I think it's really well shot, so well written. There's, they get in and out of stuff really fast, which I really like. They sprinkle in the character drama. They don't like, it's just, I like that it's always moving. It's on a track. It's a roller coaster show. It's really good.
Yeah, I think, they way more so than like ER was, right?
Oh, yeah.
The pace of it.
Oh, yeah.
They're really tapping into unfortunately, the way people's brains now needs, if you even call it storytelling. Like nobody can like sit like they could before with something slow. It has to be like this, then that.
I think other shows do that and do that well. But this is just what this show does. It makes you feel like you're in the middle of the urgent emergency.
It's I agree with all that. I just don't know. I'm curious what makes it like. Oh, I can't wait to watch it. Like for me in Traders, like I can't wait.
Oh, I love Traders.
Like I can't wait to watch the next Traders.
Yeah, I love it. I don't know. I just think it's really good storytelling.
Yes. Yeah.
I love Traders. Big Traders fan.
I watched Pluribus finally.
Oh, Pluribus. Have you watched Pluribus yet?
Nope.
Oh, man.
Good.
I love it.
Yeah, recommend.
It's my favorite show of 2025. Yeah, for sure. Mm-hmm. Before we peace out, I want to say thank you first of all, thank you to everybody on the Discord who sent messages about my dad passing. I talked about it a little bit over on the other side a couple weeks ago, and you guys said some very nice things, and I really appreciate it. Shared some of your own stories about things that happened in the days following your own family members' deaths. And so thank you. And if you want to listen to that episode, go check out BCC The Other Side. It's part of BCC Clubhouse on bcc.supercast.com. You'll get 3 bonus episodes every month. You'll get access to ad-free episodes, including slowly but quickly working through the early classic episodes. We just posted, for example, Kevin's first appearance on the show a couple weeks ago. What? And it's fun going back and listening to those and checking those out again. So all of that's on the ad-free. And then we have Cosmic Tracks by Riley, where perhaps you'll hear something like this.
So this isn't a Guatemalan flute, but it's an Aztec flute.
Whoa!
That I got at a flea market in Mexico City.
This is real.
This will summon a UFO right here, right now.
I really freaked out bringing it back because I was like, am I like raiding artifacts? But like apparently it's fine and the stuff's just everywhere. So
well, maybe someone just made it like a couple months ago.
No, I think this is like hundreds of years old.
Okay, whoa. Nova.
Spooky, right?
It's cool. Really spooky.
It's 3 chambers.
Nice.
It's like a nonsensical scale.
It's very Legend of Zelda.
Yeah.
I like it.
Anyways, we'll see what happens.
All right. Well, if we don't see you over on the other side at bcc.supercast.com, we'll see you back here next week for an all-new episode of Bigfoot Collectors Club. Until then, good night.
And go get regressed.
Bye-bye.
Ooh, there's an angry Aztec man crawling up out of the ravine.
Oh, there he is.
Give that back.
He's got my smash burger.
Bigfoot Collectors Club is executive produced by Riley Bray and Michael McMillian, and engineered and edited by Riley Bray. Our theme song is Come Alone by Suneaters, courtesy of Lotuspool Records. For ad-free listening and bonus episodes every month, join BCC Clubhouse on bcc.supercast.com. Want to see us? Watch video episodes and exclusive content on youtube.com/@BigfootCollectorsClub.